Hello, everyone. I'm home, so come on in. Today, we are going to do a little sightseeing. We're going to go back in time a little bit and be nostalgic. We're going to thrift, we're going to decorate, and it's going to be a lot of fun. My husband had a dentist appointment in Rockville, Indiana the other day, so we took in a little bit of Rockville before and after his appointment. Rockville is the center of the Covered Bridge Festival of Park County, Indiana, that they have every fall, and we've always gone to it. It's expanded now into other towns, but it kind of started in Rockville, I believe. And they have really neat old buildings, and they have an old dime store that is just fantastic. It's like stepping back in time. And if they don't have it, you don't need it. It's that kind of place. Rockville is a little courthouse square, and they have all kinds of cute little shops and restaurants. And a friend of ours that used to live in our town, she started a place called Cora's Place, and it's a secondhand store. And part of the money that she collects goes to the local animal shelters. So that's really neat. And we love to go in Cora's Place. She's got real reasonable prices, and she has bag sales and stuff. And the other day, I found this cute little statue. He's holding a vase, and he's real heavy. He's made of concrete, and he was $3, and I just adore him. I don't even think I'm going to paint him or anything, just clean him up. Then I found this little candle holder. It's real heavy, and I think it came from Hobby Lobby originally, but it was so pretty, and I thought it looked kind of French country for my bedroom, and it didn't have a price, and the girl said, it's 50 cents. So, I had to have it. Then I saw this cute little, real old French country looking clock, and it has a really old extension cord. I think you can see it there in the background. It's really old and grungy, and it's got a few little nicks and scrapes on it, which I love. I won't even change, but I brought it home, and I cleaned it up, and the darn thing works. I couldn't believe it. The cord's kind of sketchy, and I don't know if I'll use it all the time, but it works. And it was $1. And of course, I picked up some books. Cora's books are 50 cents. So I got some blues and golds and gray, and I put a few of them on my coffee table when I got home just to see how they'd look, and I just love them. Then we stopped at a yard sale at a beautiful home, a real clean, nice home. I don't usually buy bed linens at yard sales or secondhand ever, but this was a twin-size quilt, and she said she had just washed it, and she only used it on a spare bed that didn't even get used, and it was $2, and it's a real pretty caramel color. It's kind of a brownish rust. I'd call it caramel. And now I didn't buy this, but I thought you guys would like to see it. I've never seen a wicker cup and saucer before, and I thought that was really kind of cute. And then, of course, I did buy a fruit plate. You guys haven't seen too many videos without my fruit plates in them. This one is about 7 inches across. It was 50 cents, and it's got all that beautiful brown cracking and crazing that I just love. And I put it on this little shelf that I have that I keep my dish soap and my little scrubber on. I tucked it back there, and I really like it, and I get to look at it every day. Sometimes people think, why does she want that crazy stuff? Doesn't she have that stuff everywhere? Well, I'm a tucker. I tuck stuff in and put things where I can see them and enjoy them. Then I found this little Nantucket-inspired basket for 10 cents. It is adorable. I think it's handmade. It's got a wooden bottom, and I set it there sometimes. I move things around. And this is my haul that I got at Cora's. I gave $5 or $6 for all of this stuff. And I don't have them pack my stuff up. I keep a box in the car with tissue paper so I can box my own things up. Then we took a little drive up 41, and we ended up in Chase, Indiana, which is a town that, well, it's not really a town. It's just a few houses. But they used to have a racetrack. And when I was a kid and in my early years, I used to go there with my family. My husband used to take his mother there. And we were wondering if it was even still there. We knew it had been closed for a long time. And we saw where Kevin's mother used to park her car. She'd get there at 4 o'clock, even though the race didn't start till like 8, because she wanted to get her place on the bleachers. And a friend of ours, Joe Reynolds, he used to race up there, and we went all the time. And then when Kevin and I started dating, we went there some. And it's all grown up, and it's looking kind of sad, but it was kind of neat to go back and see it and remember those days. You could almost hear the cars racing around the track. It used to be a dirt track, and then they made it paved, and it's just kind of in a sad state right now, but it was fun to see. Then we went on into Boswell, Indiana, to a little place called Cowboy Corner. place where they just have mums and pumpkins and vegetables, and we like to go to places like that when we're out driving around. They just gives you that warm fall feeling. And then we came home that evening, and I took some of our garden vegetables and I made a big old salad, and we really enjoyed that. And then I made green beans and baked steak and mashed potatoes and gravy. As you can see, I really like to cook, and we like to eat. We have a good time when we eat. And then I hadn't been very creative lately, and when I don't have anything going on creative-wise, I get kind of antsy. So I sat down at my table the other day, and I painted some rocks. There's a town about 5 miles from us where they do a painted rock thing. They put them around town, and the kids find them, and it's just kind of fun. So I try to take some rocks over there every now and then, and it got me in the mood to start decorating and creating again. And here's this little hat on this pumpkin. That pumpkin is a gourd. And I bought it years ago, and I found that little hat at a sale. And, of course, there's my books. I read those books. They're pretty interesting. This is some blow molds that I've acquired through thrifting and everything. The fifth one up there is one that I found at my parents' house after I cleaned out their house. And that was mine when I was a little girl. And I'm nostalgic about Halloween. And then I also found this honeycomb tissue paper pumpkin that my mom had saved for years and years. And it's in bad shape, but I love it. Then I found this spoon. I'm crazy. I love the little design. Look how that was imprinted. They don't make spoons like that anymore. I use them. I use them to scoop brown sugar and flour out of my canisters. And then at the yard sale, I found this little orange bottle for $1, and I got it home, and it had lights in it. And it looks really cute sitting on the kitchen counter. And then I always pick up nice mugs if I can find really nice, clean mugs, because I drink a lot of tea. And this one was just beautiful. It had all the fall colors. And when you looked inside, it said, "Give thanks with a grateful heart." And on the bottom of it said Cracker Barrel. And I think I gave $1 a piece for those mugs. So they're not at Cracker Barrel for that. And then at the thrift store, I found this bowl. It's a huge majolica type bowl with embedded leaves in it. And I absolutely do not need another bowl. Everyone knows that. But you know what? It was $1, and it's a piece of art. I mean, it says Portugal on the bottom. So I'll use it to maybe gift somebody some cookies or bread or something. And then these are some napkins that I found. They were in the package. There were 4 in a package for $1. And they're reversible, and they're really pretty. And then when I find crock bowls of any size and color I love, I buy them. I use them all the time. This green one's really big. The little white one's smaller, but I can use it for egg yolks for my pies and such. And I always go for, I think they were $1 and $2. And this is a 16-inch pumpkin that I found at a yard sale. And I don't know what it's made out of, but it's beautiful. I've already styled it. I put it on top of my $10 cabinet. I got it at that estate sale in a big basket. But it's really pretty, and it's unique. Then this was in the free bin. After I bought all that other stuff, I got this out of the free bin. It's an old platter, and it's probably 100 years old. I love it. And this is what I do with them. I use them for everything. I set them in the bathroom and put my perfume on them. I set them on the table and put fruit on them. I just set them on the table or put them around places. I just think they're beautiful. And they threw that 100-year-old plate away because no one else wants it. And Marcy comes along and wants it. I save all that stuff. Now here I've got some onions sitting on it. But if I have a bunch of potatoes and onions, I might throw them on that platter. Then at the thrift store the other day, I found these 3 feet tall pictures. They're just cardboard prints of Pinky and Blue Boy. They're not framed. I'm going to have to do something with them, but you know I will. And then I thought I would show you our porch that I built the wall. I just took wood and put on the wall of the house and the wall, well, the porch post. And then I built it with my furring strips going sideways. I really hate not being able to see our yard because that part of our yard's really pretty, but I'm telling you what, guys, everything on our porch just got blown away, and the snow blew up on our porch, and our door is right there. So this will block a lot of that, and it's already saved all my stuff this summer. We didn't get to look out over that part of the yard so much, but it's really been a savior for us, and we really like it. I think we're going to leave it there. It's temporary, but we're going to leave it. Then my Uncle Rodney. My family owned a dairy when I was a little girl, and all my family worked there, my uncles and my father and my grandpa. And could we just go back to these days when they delivered milk to your house? I just love to hear them all talk and tell the stories about when they delivered milk to everybody in town. And then when I moved here, this man, his name was Earl Berkshire, him and his wife Juanita, they had what they called the sweet shop, and it was a little place on the corner where you go get candy and pie and different things like that. And they always were the sweetest people in the world. Earl was related to my husband, and he went there a lot. I didn't know it as much as he did. And then we had this lady named, well, she was a dear friend of mine named Ethel Pugh. And I went to her house one day, and she said, honey, go in the hall closet, and in the bottom of the closet, there's a box of green and white dishes. I brought them to her, and she said, I want you to take these home. She said, Kevin's always talking about the Palm Garden Cafe and how much memories he has of it, and I want you to have these. I took them home, and my husband about flipped. The Palm Garden Cafe was a little restaurant in our town for several years, probably 40s, 50s, 60s, and my husband reminisces about it all the time. And these little dishes, we use them. She gave me about 15 different pieces, and she said when they closed down the restaurant, they called her and asked her if there was anything she'd like to have, and she said she'd like to have a few dishes, and I'm just so blessed that she passed them on to me. And this is the Palm Garden Cafe. It was downtown West Lebanon, and this is my friend Edie. It's her grandfather standing in front of the Palm Garden Cafe. And Edie and my husband Kevin loved to sit around and talk and tell their memories of the Palm Garden Cafe, where they'd get ice cream and candy and green rivers and hamburgers and french fries, and they just loved to talk about it. I didn't grow up here, so I didn't know it like they did, so it's a lot of fun to listen to them talk about it. And then that led me to start collecting diner dishes when I was out at the flea markets and thrift stores, especially thrift stores, because they're so cheap. No one wants them. I have a huge set of these black and white ones. There's several different kinds. There's Syracuse, Buffalo, China. They were restaurant ware that they sold to the restaurants back in the 50s, and I think some of them are still being used. But I try to find the older ones, and like these chili bowls that are coming up, they make them today, but I try to find the ones with a little bit of patina and age on them. And then I was at a yard sale one day in Danville, Illinois, and this lady saw me pick up this glass, and I said, this looks like an old diner glass. And she said, well, you're probably too young to remember the Kmart lunch counter, but she said, they used to have a luncheonette. And I said, oh, no, I remember that. I went there when I was a little girl. So she said when they closed, she got some of these glasses, and she decided to start selling them. So I bought one, and I have a Kmart luncheonette glass. Probably had Coke and Diet Coke in it a lot. I just absolutely love it. And would you look at this? My friend's family used to run the Palm Garden Cafe, and she posted this menu on Facebook. Sweet potatoes, 10 cents. Coffee or tea, 5 cents. I mean, can you believe this? Pie, 1/6 of a pie is 5 cents. And then some lady at the restaurant had handwritten this beautiful lunch special in the most beautiful writing. I think it's just wonderful. Scalloped potatoes and ham, 50 cents. Roast pork and scalloped potatoes, 50 cents. Creamed peas, 10 cents. Gosh, I'd love to go back. This is the inside of the Palm Garden. I can't really tell what this thing in front is, but you can see all the stools going towards the back there where the counter was. And so here's me and my baking, I don't know what you'd call it. I'm nuts. I love to bake. I love to cook. I love to bake pies. It's my grandma's and my aunts, my mom. It's Earl Berkshire. It's all these people. It's the Palm Garden Cafe. Just the memories. This is a rolling pin that was my grandmother's, and she broke one of the handles. And when my mom got it, she used it with one handle until she broke the other handle. It's a glass rolling pin, or porcelain maybe. And Mom was going to throw it away, and I said, it's mine. And I roll all my pie crust out with that rolling pin and my noodles with no handle. So you don't need a handle on your rolling pin, girls. And if you want to make a really fancy pie crust and you don't know how to do it, or you just want to do it with very little effort, just crimp your pie crust all the way around, and then take the round end of like your mixer beater, the little pointed end, and go around and poke holes all the way around, and then just cut out little shapes like squares and triangles and circles, and put your crust on there and bake it, and they'll think you're just really fancy. And then when I make meringue, I always add 1 extra egg white to the meringue to give it a little extra height. And I don't bake my meringue for 10 minutes in the oven on bake. I put it on broil at 350, just like my mom and grandma did. And I stand there. You actually have to open the door and watch it for about a minute and a half, and it will lightly brown your meringue, and it doesn't make it tough, and it bakes it all the way through. If you leave your pie in the oven for 10 minutes while that meringue bakes, your pie, especially a cream pie that has meringue on it, is going to get all too baked. It's just too much. And then biscuits and gravy. We have biscuits and gravy almost every weekend. Not so much since the boys moved, but we have it quite a bit. And I don't understand why restaurants can't get it right. Some of them do, but not always. This is the house that we lived in our little town for about 12 years. And I absolutely love this house. I cried like a baby when we left. But the reason I'm showing it to you is it's a fall picture, but not too long ago, a couple years ago, someone brought me this picture, and it's in 1916, and it's a picture of our house before the porches were closed in on each side, and it shows what it looked like back in the Victorian days, and I just absolutely love it. I'm going to start showing you guys books that I call my forever books, and I want you to start looking for them. My forever books are books that I'm going to keep forever because they're timeless. I don't think they'll ever go out of style. They're beautiful. They've got great recipes or great stories. This one's called Apples. You can still find it. My friend just ordered her one off of Amazon. It's an older book. It's probably 15, 20 years old. I don't know exactly. I've had mine a long time. These are some of the pictures that are inside, and they're absolutely beautiful. I set it out every fall, and it's just my go-to book for apples. And if you guys can find it when you're out thrifting, you need to get it. These are some pictures of my dollhouse at night with the Halloween decorations. I tell you what, guys, I feel like I should do a blooper video. I go back and look at my videos, and I see so many mistakes. And one time I said I did something in Easter time instead of at Easter time. And then I was talking about my boys had been my life for 21 years, and they're almost 23 years old. So that was a big old blooper. And I want my video to come across as like we're sitting on the porch just having a conversation. And of course, when you have conversations with people, you make mistakes. And I make a lot of mistakes, and I cringe when I go back and see them in my videos. But I'm trying to keep it real. So I'm sorry that I've had so many, but that's how I am. And then this was the end of a perfect day yesterday. My boys pulling in the driveway to visit their mama. They'll never know how much it meant to me that they came home on a Wednesday afternoon to just visit mom, and it was wonderful. And if you like my videos, I would love it if you guys would like and subscribe. I really would. I love you all, and I hope these videos inspire you to go out and do something fun today on this beautiful fall day. Thank you.